Hello everyone, I'm SodorWoodenRailway, and hello and welcome to my second layout video. So as you can see around here, the layout has indeed changed, and that is because I have built a new one. Now this is going to be not only a little bit of a layout tour for the second season, season 2 of my series, but a little bit, as I said before, a little bit of an update video because I haven't made any videos on this channel in, about a year, and I'm really sorry about that. I kind of just disappeared, and there was just a lot of things, involving that. So anyways, I'm just going to address that a little bit later on in this video, but for now, we're going to do the most important part, which is going to be showing off the layout. So I'm going to give you a nice, bird's eye view of the layout. So it has changed quite a bit since last season. So as you can see here, yeah, there's a lot of different moving pieces and parts to this thing. Now, the big thing is that there is no roundhouse, because the roundhouse would be somewhere around there in the previous layout. This doesn't stay, because the Napper station, I'll explain all this later, but in the previous layout, there would be, in the Season 1 layout, there would be a massive roundhouse right here, and you can go ahead and check that out in that video. Although, it is quite dated. It is about 2 years old, so, if you don't want to see it, and by all means, you don't have to. So, I think we should start off, explaining where all the lines lead up to, and, go into that part. So anyway, I'm going to start out here with Thomas, and, we're going to start here in that station where Thomas is, obviously. And, obviously there's 4 different lines here, and there's a lot of moving parts to this place. And there's a lot of certain areas where, the track is, a little bit, morphed into my own, way. It kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really make too much sense. But the track is, a little bit uneven at times because my track is not all the same brand. This right here, I don't think I have any. I think, as a matter of fact, I think this and, obviously these 2 switches, I think the other one is, yeah, right here. The other one is right over there. I'm pretty sure those 3 pieces of track are the only official Thomas and Friends track pieces that I have. So I have no clickety-clack track. I have no official track. This is pretty much the only official Thomas Wooden Railway track that I do have. Everything else is either, other brands and stuff like that, like this truck right here, and the ones with like these little, what's it called, these little adapters right here. These are all Melissa and Doug products, and there's probably some sort of watermark or some sort of label that you can see on the end here. These track pieces that I've been using, since my childhood, that I've had for the longest time now, I'm pretty sure these are some bit that came with some big set with, with these trims. You can see these little freight cars over here with these little wheels right here. These came with this track that you can see right here, and there's a big difference between these wheels, which are, I know for a fact, these are Imaginarium wheels, and those go with some, like Polar Express layout, which is, where these track pieces come from. So, I mean, that's the whole thing. So there's technically, 3 different brands of track here. There's Melissa and Doug kind of track pieces, which are like kind of these 2. The track that I can't really name the company off of, and then we have this one, which is the Imaginarium Polar Express track layout kind of thing. And you can see another little area where I kind of cheated there a little bit, but you know what? It makes everything fit, and it looks really nice. So anyway, that was my little ramble on track. So yeah, actually, let's go ahead and tour this layout. I've been talking a little too long, so I'm sorry about that. But, if you're enjoying, definitely, let me know or something like that. Hopefully you are enjoying this. Hopefully this isn't too boring. But anyways, without making this any longer, let's just go ahead and talk about this. So, we have Thomas over here. Oops, did not mean to bump him there. So if we follow Thomas's line here, this leads into the docks. Now, as you can see, this is Napper Station, and this is the docks. Obviously, I have to work with, space constraints, because, I am on a little bit of a table, as you can kind of see. Now, I obviously can go on the floor, but I think, everything is just, I personally like building layouts on table. I mean, okay, we're not going to ramble. Just space constraints and all that kind of stuff. So that's why everything is a little, squeezed into this little area and stuff like that. So this is pretty much Nappered Station. So whenever I'm going to use, Nappered Station sets, the engines will most likely be in here or a little bit out like this. Now Gordon right here, he is definitely in Nappered Station. These 2 lines are more often than not Nappered Station. However, this line and this line as well that Duck is on, these 2 lines are more or less the docks. So where these trucks are, they're in Nappered Station / the docks. Gordon is definitely Nappert Station. So, I mean, it's a really, really weird area, but, you know, as I said before, space constraints. So, this is all the docks here. So, if we follow Thomas's line here and the truck's line or whatever, this will take us along this curve to the T-switch. Now, the T-switch, what this does is this goes around Cranky here and leads into two separate areas where Percy and Edward are at, you know, quote-unquote Wellsworth over here. However, I do have another accessory over here. I'm pretty sure that is Trackmaster, and I'm pretty sure both of these are Trackmaster accessories as well. But they both say Wellsworth Station, as you can clearly see. So, you know, a little bit of weird things. But, you know, it's a station. It fills the gap. It fills the space. It looks nice. So, you know, that's why I'm keeping them here. So, we got two double stations right here. This one's kind of unnamed. This one just says Tomica World, whatever. As you can clearly see, this is Trackmaster Accessories. Now, as you can follow these two tracks, we can go on Edward's line, which leads into a tunnel right there where you can kind of get a glimpse of Spencer in there. And actually, I'll see if I can get a better view of this. So, you can follow the tunnel here, and it's just pretty much a dead end. It just leads to a stop sign, and, you know, to prevent engines from going that way. So if we go back over here to where this switch is, we can go on Percy's line over here, and this loops around, goes under the bridge here, and goes to where Diesel is, which is pretty interesting. So he's over here doing his own thing or whatever, and we have this switch over here. This switch connects to this switch, which James is on, which loops back around to here, which splits off into two different areas, which connects back to Nappert Station. So a little bit of a loop there, although usually I don't usually like to do loops in that kind of regard. However, if we follow the track over here, we can go straight, which will lead to where Toby is, which will lead us down this track back to Nappert Station. So everything just kind of is built around Nappert Station, because with my layout, since, you know, space constraints and stuff like that, everything is built around this unit, because I want everything to link up, and, you know, I just want everything to link up, be connected, because that's how I like to build my layouts. I don't like, you know, off track and stuff like that, unless I intentionally make, you know, track that just kind of ends, like the siding over there. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on with the layout. So if we keep going down Toby's line or whatever, these two lines will conjoin, and we'll go back to this line a little bit later, but these two lines will conjoin, loop up here, go up here, and then we get to this little twin viaduct area. So this is pretty cool. There's a little bit of a clock tower over there, and here are the two narrow gauge engines. Now, since, you know, space constraints and all that kind of stuff, and the lack of track that I have, there is really no way of me to potentially, you know, make an entire, you know, fully functional narrow gauge layout, or, you know, Arsdale or Coldefell or anything like that. So whenever I do narrow gauge episodes, if I may do any for season 2, they will be pretty much on the exact same layout on, you know, as the standard gauge engine. So, I mean, that's the kind of thing that we're dealing with. So I just put these here for temporary reasons. I mean, it's in the hills, kind of. It's up in the air, so I guess it kind of works as well. And if you follow down the long bridge over here, and also these two lines connect, which is, you know, this line right here is Duck's line or whatever. And these two lines will meet up, and they will go across this big bridge over here. Now, there's where you can see Fergus, and that's what I mean. The narrow gauge line or the narrow gauge layout doesn't really exist. They just kind of share the same line. So if we follow Fergus over here, he will go down there and lead up back to where Diesel is. So there's one last area, and, you know, the elephant in the room here. This massive track where Henry is. So if we follow down here, go down here, yada yada yada, and actually this line right here and this line right here, the fourth platform at Nappert Station, as you saw in the beginning, these two conjoin and link up to the T-switch. And then this line goes over here, which goes up and pretty much goes over the entire layout and then loops back around to Nappert Station. So that's pretty much the layout. That's the entire, you know, the entire, what's it called? I don't know, the entire layout, the way the track goes. And I personally like it. I am personally a big fan of this massive bridge. And the thing about this bridge is that this bridge right here is not, this bridge is not permanent. So this track, well, okay, this area is permanent and this area is permanent. So pretty much this track right here and this track right here are not permanent, because there will be a little bit of a story or something like that, I don't want to spoil anything, for season 2 revolving around this little area. So I'm not going to say too much about it, but all you need to know is that these two pieces of track are not going to stay. So, I mean, there still will be a bridge, but these two pieces of track specifically, if I can speak correctly, these two pieces of track specifically will not be staying. So that is pretty much the entire layout. Obviously, there's some little accessories like trees, clock tower, there's a little bit of a house back there, there's a house right there, and that's pretty much the entire layout. So yeah, I'm going to, you know, that's pretty much been the layout. So if you came for the layout tour, then that's pretty much it. That's all you really need to see. So yeah, I'm going to go on not really a little bit of a ramble, but now I'm going to get to the second part of this video, which is going to be an update. So a little bit of an update since I have, you know, disappeared for a year. You know, where have I gone? What about the loose ends in season 1? Well, here's the thing. I think I'm going to be starting fresh for season 2, completely revamp And to be honest, I think season 1 was, quite a little bit of a black sheep, so to speak. It was very weird. It was all over the place. Like Duncan got regaged, and it was all over the place. I had a kind of good story in mind, but everything was a little bit of improv. Everything was super improvised. It wasn't, scripted. It was just kind of, happening as I was, making the video. So I think, I'm going to take a different approach for season 2 and probably for here on out, scripting my episodes, so then they're a lot better, a lot more high quality. They follow a linear storyline instead of season 1, which is, pretty much just a hot mess. So yeah, and the layout was a little bit boring. There was a lack of bridges in season 1, which is mainly why, there's a lot of bridges here, which is very nice. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So I'm going to be taking a different route to season 2. We're going to be doing things a little bit different than I did season 1, because everything about season 1 was just kind of improvised. So we're going to start completely fresh, no raw or no previous existing ideas, just, 100% completely fresh, brand new story ideas. So that's what I'm going to be doing for season 2. So hope you guys are okay with that. And yeah, with that out of the way, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to end things off here. Nothing too interesting to talk about. Actually, no, maybe Cranky here. So Cranky is a new addition to the layout. If you saw the season 1 layout or any of the season 1 episodes, you would know that Cranky was not part of that layout. Now, Cranky I bought at the tail end of, 2017, when Toys R Us was, kind of going out of business, and the Thomas Wooden Railway line was, kind of falling off and becoming Thomas Wood. I picked up this Cranky right here, and it came with the cargo car right over, where is it? It's right there. This cargo car. It came with the cargo car, obviously. And, it just came with this nice little Cranky. I thought it was a nice accessory. It wasn't that expensive. I think I got it for around $40 or something like that, which for Cranky is, a pretty good deal, because Cranky usually sells, or at least the Thomas Wooden Railway one used to sell for about maybe $50, $55, $60, so it was a pretty good deal. So I just thought it would be a good investment, to finally get myself a Cranky after all this time. So yeah, everything else is, relatively the same. Same old track. I mean, I think these track pieces, the Melissa and Doug track pieces, are new, because I think I bought these fairly recently as well, within the recent 2 years. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to stop my rambling now, and yeah, there's going to be, oops, knocked down a tree right there. Sorry about that. And yeah, as you can see, there is no roundhouse. The big thing about, not having a roundhouse is it just takes so much room, because if you saw that layout, I couldn't do any bridges. I really couldn't do anything, because there was the massive sheds right here, and it took up, half of the layout. And I didn't really like that much, so I decided, you know what, Knapford Station and, all these other accessories are good enough to add some height, add some depth to the layout. And, I just decided, just get rid of it. I didn't get rid of it. I mean, it's still, off to the side here, whatever, and stuff like that. But I figured, what, I don't think I'll be seeing myself using it anytime soon. Unless, of course, I get some more space or anything like that. But anyways, I'm going to end up my rambling here. So, yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, then, thank you for watching. And, yeah, hopefully we should be, starting up season 2 here fairly soon. So, yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.